Pause for a moment. Look around at this world we call modern. Skyscrapers scraping the sky, food arriving at your doorstep in minutes, knowledge compressed into a 5-second scroll. We were promised liberation, efficiency, freedom, comfort. But the more we advanced, the more we began to unravel. We no longer walk, we rush. We no longer speak, we text. We no longer rest, we recharge. But recharge for what? Our ancestors lived slower, but perhaps truer. They watched sunsets, not screens. They shared stories around fires, not feeds. They knew their neighbors, their roots, their place. We, on the other hand, have gained the world, but lost ourselves. And here lies the great illusion of progress. It gives us the illusion of choice, but quietly steals our depth. It connects us to everyone, except ourselves. We are more connected than ever, and yet more alone than ever. Johann Hari technology bridged the distance, but widened the emotional gap. You can message 1,000 people, but not feel seen by even one. This is not evolution, this is fragmentation, and anxiety. It is not the problem, it is the warning sign. The red flag your soul waves, screaming, "This isn't freedom, this is disconnection in disguise." So the question is no longer, how far can we go? The real question is, what did we leave behind on the way? Imagine waking up, and before your feet touch the ground, your fingers reach for a glowing screen. Ping, ping, ping. Your mind is flooded with headlines, likes, ads, emails, before you've even taken your first breath of stillness. What you think is just checking is actually your nervous system being yanked into chaos. This is not harmless. This is biological warfare on your attention. Your brain evolved for one thing: survival. To scan the environment for threats, process slow, meaningful signals, and then respond. But today, you scroll past hundreds of faces in seconds. You receive dozens of dopamine hits per minute. You jump from one app to another like a hunted animal bouncing between escape routes. And the worst part, your body can't tell the difference between a real threat and a notification bell. So what does it do? It activates the fight or flight system. Cortisol spikes, adrenaline surges, and deep inside, your ancient biology panics. Something's chasing me. I must run. I must survive. But nothing is chasing you, except the algorithm. This overstimulation fragments your attention. And attention is not just focus. Attention is the currency of your consciousness. You are not just losing time. You are losing presence. You are losing peace and anxiety. That racing heart, the uneasiness, the irritability. It's not a malfunction. It's your nervous system screaming, "Enough. I was not built for this." You were never meant to be this reachable, this exposed, this stimulated. You were meant to feel, not to react. You were meant to be here, not everywhere. The solution isn't just unplugging. It's remembering the rhythm of your own breath before the world taught you to vibrate with urgency. They don't need to chain you anymore. They just need to convince you that you're not enough. Welcome to the theatre of modern life, where everyone is an actor and every moment is a performance. Scroll through any social media feed and you'll see it. Perfect bodies, perfect relationships, perfect morning routines with oat milk lattes and glowing skin. Success stories that scream, "If you're not winning, you're wasting." And just like that, you begin to compare your behind the scenes with everyone else's highlight reel. You start asking, why am I not there yet? Why am I not better yet? What's wrong with me? And in chasing their filtered success, you forget the beauty of your own authentic becoming. This is the performance trap. You're not just expected to work hard, you're expected to look like you love it. Even your rest has to be productive. Your healing, aesthetic, your growth, measured in metrics. Hustle culture whispers, sleep is for the weak. Grind now, shine later. Winners don't quit. But let's be honest, this is not ambition. This is addiction. This is not empowerment. This is enslavement. You are constantly on display, a walking resume, a digital brand, a curated self, an anxiety. It creeps in silently, not because you're lazy, but because you're exhausted from performing a version of yourself you no longer recognize. You're not weak. You're overstimulated, overpressured, and undernourished. And here's the truth no one tells you. You don't have to earn your worth. You were never meant to be a product. You are not a machine. You are a soul. The question is not, how can I do more? It's, who am I when I finally stop performing? We used to wake with the sun. Now we wake with an alarm. We used to sleep under stars. Now we fall asleep to the glow of artificial light. Screens still flickering, minds still racing. Modern life has placed us inside glass towers and concrete boxes, cutting us off from the very elements that once kept us human. We walk on cement, not soil. We breathe recycled air, not forest breeze. We stare at screens and forget to look at the sky. And in this disconnection, from nature, from silence, from the earth itself, we also lose connection with the most sacred thing we carry, our own body. You see, your body is not just a vessel, it is an antenna. It listens, it feels, it remembers. But in a world that worships the mind and numbs the senses, we've forgotten how to live inside ourselves. We overthink, we underfeel. We walk around like heads on sticks, disembodied, dissociated, disconnected. The body keeps the score. Bessel van der Kolk. The trauma, the anxiety, the numbness. It's not just in your mind. It's stored in your shoulders, your gut, your breath. Every skipped heartbeat, every shallow inhale, it tells a story. And yet, we keep pushing. More caffeine, more deadlines, more noise. But your body, it never lies. It will whisper, then it will shout, and finally, it will break if you don't listen. So ask yourself, when was the last time you walked barefoot on grass? When was the last time you sat in silence, without touching your phone? When was the last time you felt alive in your own skin? We don't just need digital detox. We need sensory revival. We need to return, not just to the earth, but to our embodied truth. Because you can't heal what you've numbed, and you can't feel peace in a body you've abandoned. There was a time when you didn't have to carry the weight of your life alone. You had a tribe. You belonged to something greater than yourself. You were held, witnessed, remembered. But today, we live side by side in cities packed with millions, and yet we are more alone than ever before. Loneliness is no longer a feeling, it's an epidemic. We replaced long conversations with quick comments, shared meals with Uber Eats, sacred circles with social networks. And in doing so, we replaced community with competition. We were never meant to be isolated achievers. We were meant to be interdependent humans. But modern life teaches us, stand out, get ahead, outperform everyone else. And so we run, against each other, away from each other. And every time we pretend we're fine, every time we scroll instead of speak, we drift a little further from what makes us human. You see, belonging is not a luxury, it's biology. Your nervous system regulates through presence. Your heart softens through touch. Your soul breathes through being seen. There's a reason we feel safest, not when we succeed, but when someone looks at us and says, "I see you. You're not alone." But how often do we allow ourselves that kind of intimacy now? Instead, we curate, we brand, we perform. Because in this hyper-individualistic world, admitting that you need people, feels like weakness. But here's the truth. You were not meant to be self-sufficient. You were meant to be interwoven. Tribe is not about having the same blood. It's about sharing the same truth. And anxiety. It often comes not from what you're doing wrong, but from what's missing. Connection, safety, shared presence. So maybe the medicine isn't in doing more. Maybe it's in remembering what you've always needed. A place to belong, a space to be real, a tribe to come home to. We've never had more, and yet we've never felt less. We live in an age of material abundance. You can summon food, people, entertainment, even love, with a swipe. But despite all this access, a gnawing emptiness remains. A hollowness, a quiet ache, a longing for something we can't quite name. This is the existential void. We've built towers higher than ever, but lost touch with what grounds us. We've mastered science, speed, and systems, but forgotten ritual, meaning, and mystery. Once upon a time, silence was sacred. There were fires to gather around. There were stars to wonder at. There were rites of passage that reminded us, you are not just flesh. You are soul. You are story. You are stardust. But today, our days are scheduled to the minute. Our minds flooded with noise. Our hearts starving for something that can't be bought, downloaded, or optimized. We've tried to fill the void with distractions, money, sex, status, achievement, but none of it touches that sacred hunger. And anxiety, it often isn't about what's happening outside. It's the soul's cry from within. There is more to this life. I know it. I feel it. But I can't find it. That's not weakness. That's spiritual intelligence. Trying to awaken you. Because at your core, you're not just a mind to be sharpened or a body to be sculpted. You are a seeker, a meaning maker, a vessel for wonder. So when meaning disappears, when mystery is mocked, when silence is replaced by stimulation, your soul begins to mourn. And that mourning is what we call anxiety. This isn't a disorder. This is a calling. A call to come back to what is timeless, to sit in silence, to remember the sacred, to realize you were never meant to feel whole in a world built to keep you distracted. What if anxiety isn't something to fix, but something to listen to? We live in a world that teaches us to numb, to silence the discomfort, to medicate the message. But what if your anxiety isn't an enemy? What if it's your soul's alarm bell, ringing because something in your life is out of alignment? A job that suffocates your spirit, a relationship that buries your truth, a lifestyle that disconnects you from who you really are. We've been told to kill the symptom, to shut it up, drown it out, push through. But no one ever said, sit with it, feel it, ask what it's trying to show you. Because anxiety, when you stop running, is a sacred messenger. It does not arise randomly. It's precise, it's persistent, and if you're brave enough to listen, it will lead you, not into more fear, but into more truth. Your anxiety isn't a problem. It's an invitation to slow down, to come home to your body, to rediscover your values, to awaken the parts of you that have been sleeping under someone else's expectations. Maybe the question is not, how do I get rid of my anxiety? But rather, what truth have I been avoiding? When you stop resisting it, you'll realize your anxiety isn't here to destroy you, it's here to transform you. If this video helped you see your anxiety in a new light, if something within you shifted, even slightly, don't let that spark fade. Like this video to tell the algorithm that content like this matters. Share it with someone who's silently battling what they don't know how to name. And subscribe to Metaphysics Diary, where we go beyond the noise into the depth of your consciousness. This is not just a channel, it's a refuge, a reminder, a rebellion against shallow living. And if you're ready to question more, feel deeper, and live truer, then you already belong here. Your healing is not a trend, it's a revolution. Let's rise.